ISPS Code, Chapter 11-2 of the Annex to the SOLAS Convention. International Ship and Port Facility Security Code. International Code for the Security of Ships and of Port Facilities. Part of this code is made mandatory by the Chapter 11-2 of the Annex to the 1974 SOLAS Convention. The code has two parts: Part A, mandatory, and Part B, recommendatory. Objectives of the code: establishment of an international framework that fosters cooperation between contracting governments, government agencies, local administrations, and the shipping and port industries in assessing and detecting potential security threats to ships or port facilities used for international trade, so as to implement preventive security measures against such threats. Determining the respective roles and responsibilities of all parties concerned with safeguarding maritime security in ports and on board ships at the national, regional, and international levels. To ensure that there is early and efficient collation and exchange of maritime security-related information at national, regional, and international levels. To provide a methodology for ship and port security assessments, which facilitates the development of ship, company, and port facility security plans and procedures, which must be utilized to respond to ships or ports' varying security levels, and to ensure that adequate and proportionate maritime security measures are in place on board ships and in ports. The ISPS code applies to the following types of ships engaged on international voyages: passenger ships, including high-speed passenger craft or HSC; cargo ships, including high-speed craft or HSC of 500 gross tonnage and upwards; mobile offshore drilling units or MODU or MODU; port facilities serving such ships engaged on international voyages. Definitions from SOLAS Convention, Chapter 11-2. International Ship and Port Facility Security, or ISPS Code, means the international code for the security of ships and of port facilities, consisting of Part A, the provisions of which shall be treated as mandatory, and Part B, the provisions of which shall be treated as recommendatory, as adopted on December 12, 2002, by Resolution 2 of the Conference of Contracting Governments to the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, 1974, as may be amended by the organization, provided that 1. Amendments to Part A of the Code are adopted, brought into force, and take effect in accordance with Article 8 of the present Convention concerning the amendment procedures applicable to the Annex other than Chapter 1. And 2. Amendments to Part B of the Code are adopted by the Maritime Safety Committee in accordance with its rules of procedure. Ship-port interface means the interactions that occur when a ship is directly and immediately affected by actions involving the movement of persons, goods, or the provision of port services to or from the ship. Port facility is a location as determined by the contracting government or by the designated authority, where the ship or port interface takes place. This includes areas such as anchorages, waiting berths, and approaches from seaward as appropriate. Ship-to-ship activity means any activity not related to a port facility that involves the transfer of goods or persons from one ship to another. Designated authority means the organization or the administration identified within the contracting government as responsible for ensuring the implementation of the provisions of this chapter pertaining to port facility security and ship or port interface from the point of view of the port facility. Security incident means any suspicious act or circumstance threatening the security of a ship, including a mobile offshore drilling unit and a high-speed craft, or of a port facility, or of any ship or port interface, or any ship-to-ship activity. Security level means the qualification of the degree of risk that a security incident will be attempted or will occur. Declaration of Security, or DOS, means an agreement reached between a ship and either a port facility or another ship with which it interfaces, specifying the security measures each will implement. Recognized Security Organization, or RSO, means an organization with appropriate expertise in security matters and with appropriate knowledge of ship and port operations authorized to carry out an assessment or a verification or an approval or a certification activity required by this chapter or by Part A of the ISPS Code. Ship Security Plan means a plan developed to ensure the application of measures on board the ship designed to protect persons on board, cargo, cargo transport units, ship stores, or the ship from the risks of a security incident. Port Facility Security Plan means a plan developed to ensure the application of measures designed to protect the port facility and ships, persons, cargo, cargo transport units, and ship stores within the port facility from the risks of a security incident. Ship Security Officer means the person on board the ship, accountable to the master, designated by the company as responsible for the security of the ship, including implementation and maintenance of the ship's security plan, and for liaison with the company security officer and port facility security officers. Company security officer means the person designated by the company for ensuring that a ship security assessment is carried out, that a ship security plan is developed, submitted for approval, and thereafter implemented and maintained, and for liaison with port facility security officers and the ship security officer. Port Facility Security Officer means the person designated as responsible for the development, implementation, revision, and maintenance of the Port Facility Security Plan, and for liaison with the ship security officers and company security officers. Security Level 1 means the level for which minimum appropriate protective security measures shall be maintained at all times. Security Level 2 means the level for which appropriate additional protective security measures shall be maintained for a period of time as a result of heightened risk of a security incident. Security Level 3 means the level for which further specific protective security measures shall be maintained for a limited period of time when a security incident is probable or imminent, although it may not be possible to identify the specific target. At Security Level 1, the following activities shall be carried out through appropriate measures on all ships, taking into account the guidance provided in Part B of this code in order to identify and take preventive measures against security incidents. 1. Ensuring the performance of all ship security duties. 2. Controlling access to the ship. 3. Controlling the embarkation of persons and their effects. 4. Monitoring restricted areas to ensure that only authorized persons have access. 5. Monitoring of deck areas and areas surrounding the ship. 6. Supervising the handling of cargo and ship stores. And 7. Ensuring that security communication is readily available. At Security Level 2, the additional protective measures specified in the ship security plan shall be implemented for each activity detailed above for Security Level 1, taking into account the guidance given in Part B of this code. At Security Level 3, Further specific protective measures specified in the ship's security plan shall be implemented for each activity detailed above for Security Level 1, taking into account the guidance given in Part B of this code. Whenever Security Level 2 or 3 is set by the administration, the ship shall acknowledge receipt of the instructions on change of the security level. Prior to entering a port, or whilst in a port within the territory of a contracting government that has set Security Level 2 or 3, the ship shall acknowledge receipt of this instruction and shall confirm to the Port Facility Security Officer the initiation of the implementation of the appropriate measures and procedures as detailed in the ship security plan, and in the case of Security Level 3, in instructions issued by the contracting government which has set Security Level 3. The ship shall report any difficulties in implementation. In such cases, the Port Facility Security Officer and Ship Security Officer shall liaise and coordinate the appropriate actions. Responsibilities of contracting governments: approving the ship security plan or SSP and relevant amendments to an approved plan, verifying compliance with the provisions of Chapter 11-2 and Part A of the ISPS Code, issuing the International Ship Security Certificate or ISSC, setting the applicable security level, ensuring completion and approval of the Port Facility Security Assessment or PFSA, designating the port facilities which will be required to appoint a Port Facility Security Officer or PFSO and prepare a Port Facility Security Plan or PFSP, approving the PFSP and relevant amendments to an approved plan, exercising control measures, testing approved plans, communicating information to the IMO and to shipping and port industries. Contracting governments can designate or establish designated authorities within government to undertake their security duties under the Code. The contracting government or its designated authority may also delegate the undertaking of certain duties to recognized security organizations or RSOs. The following cannot be delegated to RSOs: approval of a PFSA, designating the port facilities which will be required to appoint a PFSO and prepare a PFSP, approving a PFSP and any subsequent amendments, exercising control measures, setting of the applicable security level, establishing the requirements for a declaration of security or DOS, RSO recognized security organization. The following duties may be carried out by an RSO: Ship Security Assessments or SSA, preparation of Ship Security Plans or SSP, review and approval of SSP but not of those where the RSO has been involved in the preparation of the SSA or SSP, issuing an International Ship Security Certificate on behalf of the contracting government, conducting a Port Facility Security Assessment or PFSA, preparation of a Port Facility Security Plan or PFSP, verification of ship security systems, security equipment. Contracting governments shall determine when a declaration of security is required by assessing the risk the ship or port interface or ship-to-ship activity poses to persons, property, or the environment. A ship can request completion of a declaration of security when 1. The ship is operating at a higher security level than the port facility or another ship it is interfacing with. 2. There is an agreement on a declaration of security between contracting governments covering certain international voyages or specific ships on those voyages. 3. There has been a security threat or a security incident involving the ship or involving the port facility as applicable. 4. The ship is at a port which is not required to have and implement an approved port facility security plan. Or 5. The ship is conducting ship-to-ship activities with another ship not required to have and implement an approved ship security plan. Requests for the completion of a declaration of security under this section shall be acknowledged by the applicable port facility or ship. The declaration of security shall be completed by 1. The master or the ship security officer on behalf of the ship, and if appropriate. 2. The port facility security officer, or, if the contracting government determines otherwise, by any other body responsible for shoreside security on behalf of the port facility. The declaration of security shall address security requirements that could be shared between a port facility and a ship, or between ships, and shall state the responsibility for each. Contracting governments shall specify, bearing in mind the provisions of Regulation 11-2/9.2.3, the minimum period for which declarations of security shall be kept by the port facilities located within their territory. Administrations shall specify, bearing in mind the provisions of Regulation 11-2/9.2.3, the minimum period for which declarations of security shall be kept by ships entitled to fly their flag. This is an example of a DOS, or Declaration of Security. Company obligations. The company shall ensure that the ship security plan contains a clear statement emphasizing the master's authority. The company shall establish in the ship security plan that the master has the overriding authority and responsibility to make decisions with safety and security of the ship, and to request the assistance of the company or of any contracting government as may be necessary. The company shall ensure that the company security officer, the master, and the ship security officer are given the necessary support to fulfill their duties and responsibilities in accordance with the Chapter 11-2 and this part of the Code. Records. Records of the following activities addressed in the ship security plan shall be kept on board for at least the minimum period specified by the administration. 1. Training drills and exercises. 2. Security threats and security incidents. 3. Breaches of security. 4. Changes in security level. 5. Communications relating to the direct security of the ship, such as specific threats to the ship or to port facilities the ship is or has been. 6. Internal audits and reviews of security activities. 7. Periodic review of the ship security assessment. 8. Periodic review of the ship security plan. 9. Implementation of any amendments to the plan. And 10. Maintenance, calibration, and testing of any security equipment provided on board, including testing of the ship security alert system. SSP, or Ship Security Plan. Each ship shall carry on board a ship security plan approved by the administration. The plan shall make provisions for the 3 security levels as defined in this part of the Code. The plan shall address at least the following. 1. Measures designed to prevent weapons, dangerous substances, and devices intended for use against persons, ships, or ports, and the carriage of which is not authorized from being taken on board the ship. 2. Identification of the restricted areas and measures for the prevention of unauthorized access to them. 3. Measures for the prevention of unauthorized access to the ship. 4. Procedures for responding to security threats or breaches of security, including provisions for maintaining critical operations of the ship or ship-port interface. 5. Procedures for responding to any security instructions contracting governments may give at Security Level 3. 6. Procedures for evacuation in case of security threats or breaches of security. 7. Duties of shipboard personnel assigned security responsibilities and of other shipboard personnel on security aspects. 8. Procedures for auditing the security activities. 9. Procedures for training, drills, and exercises associated with the plan. 10. Procedures for interfacing with port facility security activities. 11. Procedures for the periodic review of the plan and for updating. 12. Procedures for reporting security incidents. 13. Identification of the ship security officer. 14. Identification of the company security officer including 24-hour contact details. 15. Procedures to ensure the inspection, testing, calibration, and maintenance of any security equipment provided on board. 16. Frequency for testing or calibration of any security equipment provided on board. 17. Identification of the locations where the ship's security alert system activation points are provided. And 18. Procedures, instructions, and guidance on the use of the ship's security alert system, including the testing, activation, deactivation, and resetting, and to limit false alerts. CSO or Company Security Officer. Duties. 1. Advising the level of threats likely to be encountered by the ship, using appropriate security assessments and other relevant information. 2. Ensuring that ship security assessments are carried out. 3. Ensuring the development, the submission for approval, and thereafter the implementation and maintenance of the ship security plan. 4. Ensuring the ship security plan is modified as appropriate to correct deficiencies and satisfy the security requirements of the individual ship. 5. Arranging for internal audits and reviews of security activities. 6. Arranging for the initial and subsequent verifications of the ship by the administration or the recognized security organization. 7. Ensuring that deficiencies and nonconformities identified during internal audits, periodic reviews, security inspections, and verifications of compliance are promptly addressed and dealt with. 8. Enhancing security awareness and vigilance. 9. Ensuring adequate training for personnel responsible for the security of the ship. 10. Ensuring effective communication and cooperation between the ship security officer and the relevant port facility security officers. 11. Ensuring consistency between security requirements and safety requirements. 12. Ensuring that if sister ship or fleet security plans are used, the plan for each ship reflects the ship's specific information accurately. And 13. Ensuring that any alternative or equivalent arrangements approved for a particular ship or group of ships are implemented and maintained. SSO or Ship Security Officer. Duties. 1. Undertaking regular security inspections of the ship to ensure that appropriate security measures are maintained. 2. Maintaining and supervising the implementation of the ship security plan, including any amendments to the plan. 3. Coordinating the security aspects of the handling of cargo and ship stores with other shipboard personnel and with the relevant port facility security officers. 4. Proposing modifications to the ship security plan. 5. Reporting to the company security officer any deficiencies and nonconformities identified during internal audits, periodic reviews, security inspections, and verifications of compliance and implementing any corrective actions. 6. Enhancing security awareness and vigilance on board. 7. Ensuring that adequate training has been provided to shipboard personnel as appropriate. 8. Reporting all security incidents. 9. coordinating implementation of the ship security plan with the company security officer and the relevant port facility security officer. And 10. Ensuring that security equipment is properly operated, tested, calibrated, and maintained, if any. PFSP, or Port Facility Security Plan. A port facility security plan shall be developed and maintained on the basis of a port facility security assessment for each port facility, adequate for the ship or port interface. The plan shall make provisions for the 3 security levels as defined in this part of the code. PFSO, or Port Facility Security Officer. A port facility security officer shall be designated for each port facility. A person may be designated as the port facility security officer for one or more port facilities. SSAS, or Ship Security Alert System. Responsibility. The master is responsible for the activation of the SSAS in circumstances deemed appropriate to the master. The SSO is responsible for ensuring that the ship security alert system is tested in accordance with the procedures specified, and that all crew members know the location of the ship security alert activation points and the circumstances in which they are authorized to activate the ship security alert. The CSO is responsible for acting as the administration nominated competent authority and acting on security alerts received from the ship during testing of SSAS. All officers and crew must be able to activate the SSAS when ordered by the master or senior officer. Activation. When activated, it shall initiate and transmit a ship-to-shore security alert to a competent authority designated by administration, which may include the company. Identify the ship location and indicate that the security of the ship is under threat. Not send the ship security alert to any other ships. Not raise any alarm on board the ship, and continue the ship security alert until deactivated. SSAS routine testing. Tested monthly on a day agreed in advance between the master, SSO, and CSO. Telephone contact shall be maintained between the master, CSO during the test. Purpose of the test shall be confirmed. The alert shall be activated for testing. When the CSO receives the alert, the information contained in the alert shall be verified for accuracy. Information verified shall be the ship's identity or current position and identification as a ship security alert. CSO will then reset the alert from ashore. All other activation points on board shall then be tested. All future alerts shall be treated as real when there is no notice or agreement of testing between the ship and the CSO. International Ship Security Certificate. This is issued to a vessel after satisfying the requirement of Chapter 11-2 of the SOLAS Convention. This is checked by authorities in every port. This is an example of an International Ship Security Certificate. Thank you for listening. I hope you have learned a lot. Enjoy learning!